Okay, so part of building a self-sustainable homestead for us is also trying to figure out ways to generate income from the homestead so that we can continue to have the homestead and grow it. As many of you know, we've got a few KuneKune pigs that we plan to harvest in the fall. And one of our things that we're trying to figure out right now is how we can possibly do some farmers markets. We definitely are going to try and sell some of the meat. But we're looking at farmers markets and things like that, and possibly like a little mobile kitchen setup where we could do pig roasts and things like that. Now, one of the components of this little mobile idea that I have is this, and we will talk about this in another video, but this is a big part of it. If you've been watching the channel for a while, then you know that over the winter, when we first moved here, we had to put our refrigerator outside because it was trying to run all the time with the wood stove right beside it. And so it was killing our batteries and our solar system. So we moved it outside and it worked great. The problem was the freezer wouldn't freeze because you have to have an ambient temperature of like 65 degrees in order for the freezer on top of the refrigerator to actually freeze. Even though the refrigerator was cold enough, we couldn't freeze anything. And so we needed ice. We use a lot of ice and couldn't keep ice. Now our refrigerator is back inside and the freezer works perfectly. A lot of times a brand will reach out to us and ask us to check out one of their products. They'll send us a product to try and make a video about it if you like it. And most of the time we sort of decline these because the product or the service that they offer isn't really relevant to us. We wouldn't really use it, and so we wouldn't recommend it to someone else. But there was one company that reached out to us that I did want to try their product because of this idea that I have for this mobile kitchen thing, and I'm going to show it to you. This is supposedly a portable clear ice maker. It makes perfectly clear drink ice. It's from a company called NewAir. Supposedly it makes 40 pounds a day, 24 pieces per cycle. Plug and play, you just put water in it and it makes the first batch of ice in like 9 minutes. So we're going to put it to the test and see if it actually does. Now the reason I wanted this, a lot of people will say, why don't you just buy a bunch of bags of ice and keep it in a cooler all day? Well, I could do that, but we want to be completely mobile and completely autonomous because we may be in a place that doesn't have ice, or it's out in the middle of nowhere in the boonies, and we need to have a completely self-contained thing. Alright, so what we're going to do is unpack this. I don't know anything about it. I'm going to just see if we can use it right out of the box without doing too much messing around. Now what I'd like to be able to do is hook this up to a small battery bank in the back of the truck with the inverter, run it with the freezer, run everything we need to run. Okay, this weighs 24 pounds, draws 1.6 amps when it's making ice, draws 2.6 amps when it's harvesting ice. I don't know what harvesting ice means, but we're going to find out. This is the stainless steel model. It comes with this blue protective film on it, which is probably good to protect the stainless, but it's sort of a pain to get off. But that wasn't too hard. It's easier on the front than it was on the back. Just pull that off. I like how small it is, so we can easily set this up as a little mobile kitchen deal. All right. So you just pour water in there and hit the on button, I guess. Oh, here we go. And then little ice cubes, perfect little cubes of ice come out of there. And like I said, supposedly it makes perfectly clear drink ice. Got your little bucket and a little scoop. Alright, I got it unpacked. We have to let this sit for an hour to let the refrigerant settle, because I had it on its side and upside down as I was trying to pull it out. You don't want to just plug this in and run it. Same applies to anything that's like a refrigerator or a freezer. Let it set for an hour, let the refrigerant settle to the bottom, and you'll be good to go. So we'll be back in about an hour. Okay, it's been about an hour. I'm going to plug this into the watt meter just to see what it actually pulls. and we'll put water in it and see what happens. Alright, I'm just going to fill this. Takes less than a gallon. Now this reservoir drains down into here in the bottom of this basket, and that helps chill the whole container. Alright, so that's kind of filled up that little reservoir. Now I'm going to top it off. Should be good to go. Put your lid on. Now all you do is hold the button for 5 seconds until it turns solid green. A little fan turned on. I'm just doing stuff. It says it draws 1.6 while it's making ice. Looks like 1.4. Alright, I just started it, so I'm going to start the timer. See how long it takes to actually dump the first batch of ice. Okay, it's been almost 22 minutes, and this thing just changed, started making a different noise, which I'm thinking means harvest mode. So it's done with its first batch. It's about to dump it in. Amperage jumped up to 1.95. Yep, it fell. So it just dumped the first batch down into the ice tray. And then the amperage is dropping. So that little harvest mode that it goes through when it has to dump that ice out into the bucket increases your draw to almost 2 amps, which still ain't bad. It's less than what it says in the book. So now we're back down to 1.5 amps. So it took about 20 minutes for the first cycle to complete, and it dumped the ice down into the basket. And each subsequent cycle should take a lot less time now because everything's cold. And so I'm going to pull out some of the ice. We're going to look and see if it's actually clear. Okay, now we're going to test and see if this is clear compared to regular ice. Now we always use our spring water filtered through a Berkey, so it's pretty good water. That is a regular ice cube from an ice cube tray. Let's try one of these cool skull cubes that Brandy sent us. It's not very clear. It looks awesome though. Now let's try one of these from this gadget. Pretty clear. Makes pretty good clear ice. "20 minutes ice." Okay, this is a cola with regular ice. This is a cola with the ice maker. Looks pretty clear to me. Well, it does what it says it does. Makes ice, makes really clear drink ice, and I like it. I think this thing because it's so small, it'll fit perfectly into the little outfit that I'm going to make for the truck. And we can make ice on the go, hook it up to an inverter, along with the freezer, and some other gadgets we're going to add, and this will work good. So we'll see how that works. In the meantime, they sent us a coupon code if you want to check it out and get one for yourself. You can use the code GBFarm, get 15% off. I'll leave links below for all that. And we're going to go make some drinks. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.